muscle car campy at the Florida Muscle Car Drags, and we found an exceptionally rare car today to shoot. It's very fast, it's very cool. It's a 68 Nova SS396, but what makes this car really unusual is that it's a 350 horse Nova, not a 375 horse car. It's a turbo hydromatic, column shift, bench seat car. It's absolutely outstanding. We're here with owner Christopher Teed. Christopher, you just clicked off a 1298 pass in this thing, and I know they didn't run that fast stock from the factory. What have you done to this car to get it to go down the track like that?
You know, really a lot of it honestly is in suspension work. Just clamping the leaf springs, it still has original front leaf spring shocks on the car. Just drilled them out, just a lot of little stuff. It runs a lot of timing in it. Big block Chevrolets like a lot of timing. You know, and it's been on the chassis dyno, it's been on the dyno. It has run 1268 before. If I can get it out of the hole a little better, I think I can get there. And just kind of like finessing the car. You just kind of got working with the Quadrajet a lot, changing the rear rods and hangers. It just left the chassis dyno, and just from changing hangers, we was able to find like 15, 20 horsepower. So
now, you say Quadrajet, so again, stock carburetor.
Yeah.
What did it make on a dyno?
Actually, when it was on the chassis dyno, it was like 300, but the actual dyno, it was actually right at like 390. So it's more than it made 350 the back in the day, but like I said, still got the original steel crankshaft in it, the original heads, the original motor's still in the car. And it's really honestly isn't nothing fancy, just a lot of tuning. And honestly, at the end of the day, to make these cars run, it's just about seat time. Getting it to the track and working on it, having fun, you know, having a passion for it, and that's kind of what it's all about. So,
now, one of the things that really struck me about this car is how clean it is. You even still have the factory side molding on a car. That most people would have ditched that.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's like a time machine.
Yeah, it is. I actually purchased this car from Wayne Bushy, who was and still is president of Nostalgic Nova. Really good guy. I bought the car from him unmolested. It needed to be restored, but it was all together. So really, we just took it apart, painted it, and put it back together. So.
And you told me earlier that it was a California car with zero rust.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so cool. I mean, the interior looks all original.
Yeah.
I see you have a copy of the window sticker on the car. What was the original price?
If I remember correctly, it was like $3,500. So
I'll give you $3,700 for it right now.
I bet you would.
I bet, yeah.
One of the things that helps these cars a lot, it's got a pipes exhaust system on it, which is a mandrel bent 2.5-inch exhaust. It's still got a single muffler at the rear end, but that was probably the most critical thing. We're allowed to run it in the stock class. That's one of the things we're allowed to do, and that. I mean, that's probably good for 3 or 4 tenths. It really is. So
the factory exhaust systems on all big block cars was extremely restrictive.
Yeah,
I mean, these engines, they flow a lot of air. They want to breathe.
I can tell you when I first put this car together, it had a beautiful, nice Garner exhaust on it. It was an original car, so I just put it back the way it was. But then I thought about it, and I go, it ran 1420s. I could never get it in the 13s, and I just wanted to go a little quicker. So. It's got all synthetic in the fluid in the front to the rear axle. That picked up about 3 tenths. The exhaust picked up 3 tenths. We pulled the motor out, just freshened it up. It came with 10 to 1/4 compression, and the stock appearing class lets us run 1.5. So it's got about a little over 11 to 1 compression now. That's just Bullet built the cam for it, pretty much the stock specs.
Bullet down in Memphis, Bullet racing cams.
Yep, with John Partridge to them guys, and but it's pretty much the specs. We just changed a couple things on it, and you know, we do a lot of little things like I'll give it a little more valve lash, 2 or 3 thousandths helps, and that's where the chassis dyno and the dyno takes place.
And what about the rest of the engine? Did you do anything besides compression? Have you touched the heads yet? I know you have another set you're going to do.
No, I actually haven't touched his heads. Jacob Warren originally built this motor. He's kind of had the business, but he had worked on some NASCAR stuff and some other stuff, and he was just really efficient. If it wasn't right, if the bearings weren't right, he just sent them back. I mean, so it's really had a lot to do with the guy just putting it together, just taking his time, if something wasn't right, he just sent it back. That's just the way this guy was. So.
And how many cubic inches is it right now?
It's a 396 30 over.
30 over.
So I guess it'd be a 402, I believe.
Yeah.
So it still has the cast iron intake on it, 4-hole intake and a quadrajet. You know, it's hard to get mile an hour out of the car just because the intake's a little restrictive, but it's just something you have to work with.
Christopher, thank you so much.
I appreciate you.
Really appreciate you coming out today.
We appreciate you guys coming
I
out.
would love to have you on Muscle Car Campy. So
Absolutely.
make sure everybody watch this video, subscribe to Muscle Car Campy on YouTube. Take care, buddy, and don't forget to ring the bell, because if you don't ring the bell, you won't be notified when the next video goes live. Take care.
Thank you.